Well, franchise tag deadline has come and gone, and guess what, New York Giants fans? The franchise tag deadline went into the Giants' favor. This is NYG Jeffy T, everyone. How are you all doing today? And I got some good news if you're a Giant fan, no matter how you feel about it. One thing is guaranteed going into the 2023 New York Giants NFL season. Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley will be New York Football Giants for the 2023 season. Yes, sir. And why do you say that, NYG Jeffy T85? Because, according to Adam Schefter of ESPN.com, right at the 4 p.m. deadline buzzer, Joe Schoen and his front office with the Giants struck a long-term deal with Daniel Jones on a long-term deal, 4 years, $160 million, with an $82 million in guaranteed signing as well, and there will be another $35 million available in incentives in his contract. And what that deal did is it allowed the New York Giants to tag Saquon Barkley with the non-exclusive franchise tag for the New York Giants for the 2023 NFL season. So Jones gets his long-term deal, Barkley gets the franchise tag, and there you go. Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley will be New York Football Giants for the 2023 NFL season. How do I feel as for this whole situation? Honestly, I felt this way about the entire time, and I put out the video earlier. Put your trust in Joe Schoen. In Joe Schoen we trust, and let this guy go out there and do what is best for the New York Football Giants organization. Just needed patience. Just let the process play out. And guess what happened? The Giants ended up striking that long-term deal. And on Giants.com, the Giants officially announced today that they have placed the non-exclusive franchise tag on running back Saquon Barkley, and the Giants and Barkley will continue to discuss a long-term contract, a conversation that began during the team's bye week in November. The franchise tag is basically a one-year deal that grants a window to negotiate a long-term contract. The Giants and Barkley can continue to negotiate a long-term contract until July 17th, and if they cannot reach a multi-year extension, then Barkley will play under his franchise tag this season. Plus, the non-exclusive franchise tag pays out an average of the top 5 tag amounts at the player's position from a previous 5 years, or 120% of the player's previous year's salary, which is greater, and players who receive the tag can negotiate with other teams, but his current team has the right to match any offer, and also they would receive 2 first-round picks in the event the player signs elsewhere. So, if the Giants and Barkley can't reach a long-term deal on this, pretty much what it's going to mean is that a team couldn't reach a long-term deal with Saquon Barkley, and the Giants have the right to match that deal. Or, if they don't, that team would have to surrender 2 first-round picks for the New York Giants in order to acquire Saquon Barkley. I don't see any team out there paying 2 first-round picks for Barkley. So I expect him to be here, and in 2 ways. Either he's getting his long-term deal, or he's going to be on the franchise tag for 2023. But to get back to Jones. Daniel Jones reportedly was asking for $45+ million. The Giants were willing to give him at least a $40 million deal at most. And what ended up happening? The Giants are going to pay Daniel Jones $40+ million over these years. And it sounds like that it's going to be at least the first 2 years is where the money's really going to be coming into play. But just because Daniel Jones signed this 4-year deal does not mean it's going to take out the equation that Daniel Jones, the Giants could eventually still draft another quarterback behind Daniel Jones in 2024. Talked about this with my buddy Adam Costas just on the phone before. Give a shout out to him. So, for now, Daniel Jones is the Giants quarterback. There was no discussion that he wasn't going to be. It was just a question of, was he going to get paid as part of a long-term deal, or is he going to be on the franchise tag? The fact that you got this long-term deal done, it makes you able to tag Barkley, and now this team, with whatever money they're going to have left, plus some negotiations, maybe a long-term deal with Dexter Lawrence, maybe you extend Leonard Williams. Now you're going to have some money to play with in free agency, and you're going to think about maybe going to see if you can bring back Julian Love on a long-term deal. You're going to negotiate with Sterling Shepard, with Darius Slayton, with Nick Gates, with Richie James, with O'Shane Ximines, whoever it is on the team, Jahad Ward. You're going to try to negotiate with these other guys and see if you could come together on a deal with any of these other guys, as well as explore the free agent market, mostly for offensive line help in the interior, as well as wide receiver help, which is going to probably be the next position that Joe Schoen is going to look to target. Now that Jones is back in 2023, now you're going to have to go out there and look for some wide receiver help for this team in order to help out Jones on the outside. My honest opinion about this, I thought Jones deserved to come back in 2023. I thought Barkley deserved to come back in 2023. If this team did not play as well as they did in 2022, and if Jones and Barkley didn't not only play well, but if they didn't stay healthy, I believe that these guys would not be here on this team. But because they both played to a pretty good level, Barkley to a great level and Jones to a very good level, that's why I believe Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll, and I believe that John Mara had some input in these negotiations. That is why both these guys are back. Jones on a long-term deal, Barkley right now on the franchise tag. I'm not going to complain. It's nice to see homegrown Giants get long-term deals. Before Jones got his long-term deal, the last two guys that got long-term deals with the Giants was Sterling Shepard and Odell Beckham Jr. That's it. Now Daniel Jones got his long-term deal. I would not be shocked if Barkley gets a long-term deal. But right now when it comes to Barkley, he looks like he's looking for still around 14 to 16 million per season. Giants are willing to pay him about 10, 11 million per season. Barkley's already turned down 12 million per season. We'll have to wait and see how that process is going to play out. But in the end, honestly, no matter how you feel about Jones, no matter how you feel about Barkley, this is the best result for this team, is getting both these guys back for another season. This is the best thing for Daniel Jones. They could utilize his skill set in this system. You can go out there and get him some more playmakers on the outside. You can get some wide receivers in the draft, free agency, trade, whatever avenue you want to go through to help improve this football team. But either way, this is the best thing that could happen for the Giants in terms of a cap-wise. And I'm curious to see how Daniel Jones is going to play in 2023. He's not only got to match what he did in 2022, he's got to play even better. A lot of people are going to argue when it comes to Jones. Well, he only had 15 touchdowns. He only threw for 3,200 yards. That's fine. That's fine. For a quarterback getting 40 million, that is very low numbers. But then on the other side, well, look at the wide receivers he had. The interior offensive line wasn't good. The tight end position wasn't that great. The only real weapon on the team was Saquon Barkley. I get it. Both sides, you have an argument. But Jones has got to not only improve his numbers, but he's got to make sure he continues to evolve in this system, play winning football, and he also stays healthy for the entire season like he did in 2022. And he's got to make sure those turnover numbers don't go back up, because I do believe the Giants are going to be more of a spread offense in 2023, and they're going to be going out there and they're going to be looking to throw the football more in 2023. I do believe that they're going to improve the offensive line in the interior. I do believe they're going to get some better wide receivers on the outside. Who knows what's going to happen with the guys that are free agents? Hodgins is already back. I would not be shocked because Jones and Barkley are back. If Shepard is back on a short-term deal, I would not be shocked if Slayton is back on a short-term deal. I would not even be shocked if Richie James is back. I would not be shocked if any of these guys come back and then you could go through the NFL draft and you could pick up another receiver, a young receiver to develop in their system, and another guy that you can try to develop as their future number one receiver on this team. Or you could go into the trade market, find a guy like maybe a Jerry Jeudy or a DeAndre Hopkins that will cost you maybe at least a third round pick, third round pick. Bring him into the system. He could be your number one receiver, or he can even be a number two, and away you go from there. This is the best thing that can happen for the Giants from a cap standpoint, from a mentality standpoint. Jones is back. No matter how you feel about it. No matter how you feel about Daniel Jones. Positively, negatively, whether you think he's God's gift to the Giants, whether you think he sucks ass and he doesn't belong here. Same thing with Barkley. Guess what? Joe Schoen believed in these guys. And Joe Schoen thought the best thing for this organization was to bring them both back. And luckily, Joe Schoen is expected. And Joe Schoen was glad that he was able to bring both of them back. That's the first step. Bringing back Jones and bringing back Barkley. Guess what? Now this offense is status quo like it was in 2022. Jones is your quarterback. Barkley is your running back. What are you going to do at the wide receiver position now? What are you going to do on the offensive line? To be honest, the offensive line has one guy you could 100% fully trust is going to be a good player for this team, and that's Andrew Thomas. Joshua Zudu was inconsistent and he didn't stay healthy. Marcus McKeithen missed all last year with a torn ACL. Evan Neal missed time with multiple injuries, and when he was healthy, he didn't play that well. John Feliciano was good in the run game, but horrendous in the pass blocking. Ben Bredesen was solid. What is your next step, Giants fans? Joe Schoen, what are you going to do to improve this football team? Are you going to turn to your other free agents now and try to negotiate deals with them within the next week or so? Because remember, NFL free agency starts a week from tomorrow. And you still got some other guys to worry about. Now who do you worry about? Julian Love now is your number one free agent. Darius Slayton is now higher on your priority. Sterling Shepard is still out there. Nick Gates is still out there. Jahai Ward. Fabian Moreau. Richie James. Does your focus now turn to these guys and see if you can bring them back into the fold? Because Joe Schoen has said he wants to try to keep his guys on this team going forward. As well as, what are you targeting in free agency? Heard rumblings that they're going to be trargeting the linebacker position in free agency. You got Levante David. You got Terrell Edmonds. You got Tremaine Edmonds. You got TJ Edwards. You got David Long. You got some good middle linebackers out there. You got some veteran pass rushers. Frank Clark, Bud Dupree, Leonard Floyd. All these guys are going to be free agents now. Do you bring in one of them as a veteran pass rusher to go with what you have in Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari? What about the wide receiver position? If you don't decide to bring back a Shepard or a Slayton or a James, do you look at maybe... Sounds like, at least what I just read a report, Juju is going to be on his way back to the Chiefs, so you could scratch his name off. Do you go for Paris Campbell? Do you go for one of these veteran wide receivers in the market, a Mecole Hardman? Do you maybe look in the trade market at a DeAndre Hopkins, at a Jerry Jeudy? Do you try to aim higher at a T. Higgins or a Brandon Ayuk or a Michael Pittman Jr.? There's a lot of options right now that the Giants can go in terms of the offseason. But the number one thing that this team needed to do, and they got it accomplished, was A, sign Daniel Jones to a long-term deal. He got his long-term deal. $160 million on 4-year deal. $82 million of that $160 million is guaranteed, and $35 million is available in incentives in that contract. And Saquon Barkley got the non-exclusive franchise tags, not the exclusive, the non-exclusive franchise tag, which right now will pay him $10.1 million, and the Giants have until July 17th to try to work on a long-term extension with Saquon Barkley. And if they don't, then Barkley will play out the 2023 season on the non-exclusive franchise tag. But another NFL team can try to sign Saquon Barkley to a long-term deal, and the Giants have right now a chance to match whatever deal is given to him. And if they don't, that team would have to surrender 2 first-round picks to the New York Giants for Saquon Barkley. So we'll have to wait and see how that process plays out. But either way, Jones and Barkley are back. Now, the question is, what is next on the table and the docket for Joe Schoen, Brandon Brown, and the coaching staff? That's what I'm looking for most as a Giants fan. Step 1 is completed. Jones is back. Barkley is back. Now what are you going to do in free agency? Now what are you going to do for NFL trades? What is your process you're going to be playing out for the draft? I do believe this team is going to target a wide receiver in the NFL draft. Maybe in the second round, first round, third round. I think they're going to maybe go after multiple wide receivers. Maybe they bring back their own. Like I said, would not be shocked if Shepard is back. He's close with Jones and Barkley. Now that both those guys are Giants, would not be surprised if Shep is back. Slayton, same thing. Richie James wouldn't be shocked either. And then you bring in some other wide receivers to help out. You got Wan'Dale Robinson as well coming back from injury. But we'll wait and see what's going to happen with this team. You guys let me know in the comment section what you think about Daniel Jones getting his long-term deal from the Giants. 4 years, $160 million, $82 million of that 4 years, $160 million guaranteed, $35 million of that money put in as incentives, as well as Saquon Barkley getting the non-exclusive franchise tag that will pay him $10.1 million. Jones and Barkley will be back as New York Football Giants. You guys let me know in the comment section what you think. If you're fired up, if you're disappointed, let me know in the comment section what you think about this deal with the Giants. I'm pleased because I'm happy it's over, but I'm also pleased because I think both these guys deserve to come back. You guys let me know. Hit that like button, turn on the bell for notifications, and make sure you sub up to NYG Jeffrey T85. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday afternoon/evening. Take it easy and let's go New York Football Giants. Together blue, everyone.